stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Tonight we have Flat Earth Day night where it's Fight the Flat Earth versus HipHopHippie. And I'm not exactly sure what particular subject we're going to be going over tonight, but we've had both of these gentlemen on before, obviously. So I don't know. Kyle, do you got any announcements or anything like that for NonSec?
I am extremely happy to be here. This has been a crazy day. If you follow us on Twitter today, or follow the show on Twitter, I've been locked into a battle with a very angry Catholic man, and I'm happy to be here to hear about the shape of the planet. Because if I hear about religion one more time, I'm going to go absolutely crazy. So, but yeah, I asked. I think many people will. Of course, everybody knows Fight the Flat Earth. I think many of you will remember HipHopHippie, and I asked him before the show started, and I'll ask him again just so that there won't be any worry. HipHopHippie, you're in a much better mood tonight than you were the first time go around, right?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. What's up, everybody?
Good. We were talking about Tupac and gangster rap before we started the show. So I think that would be a really good discussion to have too sometime. Maybe we should just do, instead of doing Flat Day night, just do gangster rap debate. I think that would be a lot of fun. What do you think, Craig?
My knowledge literally stops at Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, you didn't choose the thug life; it chose you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. After this one, we're gonna have it's a doubleheader tonight. We've got Mock Earth and Schrodinger's Cat at 9 o'clock. So we'll probably take a 15-minute break in between to switch things over and get the new links out. But we will be having a doubleheader tonight, so make sure that you stick around. Do you want to take a second? And well, first of all, GE, do you have anything that you'd like to? I'd like to say, just kicking off things. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go and watch GE's video where he's outside the abortion clinic in Alabama. That dude in the MAGA hat was crazy.
Yeah. So it was well, technically not an abortion clinic. It was a women's health center, and so I mean they provide more services, obviously, but yeah. So the short story is this Warriors for Christ channel that has like over 500,000 subscribers here on YouTube was like, hey, we're going to be protesting in Huntsville, Alabama. So I was like, say what? And so they went live. I saw where they were, found it. I went out there and I just pretty much confronted them. And boy, was it like eye-opening. I mean, it really shows the mentality of these people. And I also had a really good conversation with a guy.
Don't touch him again.
Don't touch him again. Don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Oh no, no touching. No touching. But so there was a guy there that I talked to who was actually I guess somewhat reasonable to talk to, very misguided, but he wasn't screaming through a megaphone at me. So but yeah, if people want to go and watch that and see a guy scream at me, and basically there's at one point where he just screams like a 5-year-old child because apparently that's what hell sounds like. Right. But anyways, I've got that, but also tomorrow I'm going to be releasing a interview that I had with ex-Cult Baby. She's been on Opinionated on this channel before, and we just pretty much talked about her story growing up and what it was like being a Jehovah's Witness and what it what had her leaving religion altogether. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow, and then of course next week's just kind of a normal week.
Very cool. Great guest, though. Everybody should check that out. I'm debating. This is the only thing that I have. I'm debating. Last week we did a thing called I called it choir practice, where I sort of ranted about dating apps, and I had a lot of fun. But I might do something like that again. I'm gonna let you guys decide if you'd like to do something else where I just get on tomorrow night and rant because Sunday's a good day for it. Leave that in the leave a C in the live chat so that I can check that out if you'd be interested in that, and we'll do that. Okay. HipHopHippie, take a second to introduce yourself and let people know, where they can follow you, plug your channel, all that good stuff.
Okay, thanks. Just want to thank the NonSequitur Show for having me on. Name's HipHopHippie, aka Mad Mardigan, killing trolls. So trolls, better go hide under your bridges. And just wanted to say hi to my beautiful fiance, Darlene Dandelion. She might be in the chat, but love her a lot. And just want to say hi to my mom too. She'll probably watch this sooner or later. But yeah, I'm ready to get started. And don't forget about 9/11.
Come on, dude.
Oh, that was
Okay.
that was interesting. I don't think we can forget about 9/11. That's the tagline, right? Never forget. So we will not forget HipHopHippie.
Yeah, that was an inside job though.
Let's not go down
That's
that
a
road
debate for another
because
day. Yeah.
different debate. different debate. All right. Fight the Flat Earth.
Hey guys, it's been a bit of a crazy week with Sleeping Warrior Week. The George Musser interview has been cherry picked to buggery by the Flat Earthers, which was kind of anticipated. Jeranism actually did a video on it yesterday, so I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow and debunk what Jeranism was saying. There's now, I think, 23 videos in the Sleeping Warrior playlist. So if you want to see Sleeping Warrior get destroyed, there's 23 good videos there for it. Thanks for having me on again, guys. Let's do this.
Cool. All right. Greg, you want to start or HipHopHippie start?
Well, HipHopHippie, you said you
guys.
wanted to talk about the moon landings, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about both tonight if you want, but the moon landing for sure. I got a video I can send you. Maybe you can pass it over to Dave. Dave,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything in it that would trigger copyright? Is it your video or somebody else's?
No, it's somebody else's, but I doubt it's just NASA footage, so I don't know why.
Okay.
They get copyrighted for that.
Well, somebody
Hold on.
played a Neil deGrasse Tyson video one time, and it was a nightmare to get that thing uncopyrighted.
Okay, 1 second.
I'm
gonna send this to
Let me ask, Fight the Flat Earth. Did you do you have an ongoing a battle with Steven Steen? Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Steven Steen follows me around, and he sends me super chats that are big penis emojis quite often.
Oh, well, he just sent one that said "Fight the Flat Earth sucks." So
I
pissed him
saw
off
that.
somehow.
Love you, Steven.
And then Cajun Crustacean followed that up with Steven Steen sucks.
Right. Okay. Just gonna send that over to you now. Cool. 2 sets.
Okay, this video pretty much just shows astronauts
There you
are
go.
nothing but puppets on a string, and it's pretty hilarious. So hope
Just a
the
puppet
audience
on a
enjoys.
string.
While we load up that video, do you want to give us sort of a rundown of your reasons why you think the moon landing was fake? While David gets it loaded up.
Well, probably like 10, 15 years ago, I got into 9/11 being an inside job and started to not trust my government and a lot of other things such as Sandy Hook, Boston bombing, Oklahoma City bombings, pretty much all the big conspiracies. But I mean, they use paid actors, and then after I looked into all that stuff, I looked into the Holocaust, realized that was a scam too. And
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Next thing I know-
There's a whole
All right.
rabbit hole there.
That
Oh,
video
boy.
is loaded, by the way.
yeah, sorry, but I ended up getting the flat Earth while looking into the Holocaust, and I thought it was crazy. I was like, man, these guys are stupid, you know. Like, of course the Earth's not flat, you know. And
So where am I?
after looking into the moon landing, oh, okay, yeah, here we
Where
go.
am I gonna start that?
Just play it. It's a short video, please.
Turn off that audio. So
Just yeah. They're just on a string. They're on harnesses. They're not just. It's not gravity. It's not 1/6 gravity. They're just on strings.
I mean, I don't see any strings, and
Dave, let's cut
Just
back.
keep it going.
No, Dave, cut back.
Well,
Listen,
can I interject real quick?
I can't. We can't go on.
Well, no, I mean, he says that that's obviously not 1/6 gravity, but he's not really explaining why he thinks that. I'm wondering if
No.
you could.
I'm talking about the Holocaust thing. I can't entertain that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
can we please just stick with like the moon landing stuff? Like, seriously, can we?
Yeah, no,
Because
that's fine, yeah.
honestly, all of that
No, I was
stuff is just not applicable to this.
Well, no, I'm just letting you guys know how I got into the flat Earth, like what I was doing, what I was researching, and then it popped up, and I thought it was crazy too. You know, I even thought the Holocaust stuff was crazy until I looked into it. And I'm not saying people didn't die or anything. I just, you know, it's just
No,
not.
hold on, HipHopHippie,
as
you have
told.
got to stop. Okay, listen, I don't really care. Nobody here really cares how you got into it. We're discussing moon landing footage and all that, so it just really seems like you're wanting to bring this up just because you
No, I'm
want
sorry.
to talk about
No,
it.
it's I won't bring it up. I'm sorry if I offended you. I just Kyle just asked how I got into it, and that's how. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to offend you guys.
All right. Well, no, I mean it's just, you know, it's kind of it's one of those things where let's just not discuss that tonight. So just if you could explain how you know
No,
for
he's-
certain that
Here, he's gone. He's gone. I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot have someone on here that denies that that happened to 6 million people. I cannot sit here and listen to someone talk about the shape of the planet with knowing that they feel that way. I cannot do that. So he's gone, and I hate that it came down to that. I cannot do that. There's no way I could. I've kicked people for calling the Challenger mission fake, and that's just a line that I will not go down. I cannot listen to somebody talk about the fucking shape of the planet, knowing that they think that what happened to 6 million people is a farce. So here's what we'll do. We'll open up for someone else. If you're in the chat and you want to, actually, I'll tell you what, if you're a flat earther and you think you can, you know, call out me, GE, or Fight the Flat Earth, Dave, open the phone lines up. We'll open the lines up to you guys and take your calls. Fight the Flat Earth, I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. I
can't. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I fully understand, Kyle.
well, he kept bringing it up, and he's like, you know, I just
So give us a second, guys. Let us set up for the phone calls, and we'll get your calls in. By the Flat Earth, you can feel free to use this opportunity to say anything that you were going to say about the moon landing in case anybody's listening that may think it's fake, you know, while we set this call thing up. Just give us just a second, guys.
Well, in regards to the footage, just saying it looks like they're on strings isn't really evidence for anything, because it also looks like they're in 1/6 gravity. So, unless he can, or anyone can prove that that isn't what things would look like in 1/6 gravity, then just saying it looks fake is never enough for me to really even argue against. Uh, we come on, everyone knows we went to the moon, and let's forget about the fact that we've been to the moon and think about what is actually happening in 2024. Because surely everyone by now has seen the NASA "We're Going Back" video, and I kind of think that that's given my channel a time limit. I think by 2024, I won't be able to fight the flat Earth anymore, because once that's happened, it's kind of game over, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go on to
Definitely.
fighting some other kind of stupidity, which Einstein said there's two things that are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe.
How
So,
tell us about the second debate with Sleeping Warrior. How'd that go?
it didn't, because he chickened out.
You chickened out?
Yep.
What?
I've got screen. Yeah, he says basically I was too mean to him. His words were he didn't like my demeanor, so he wasn't going to work with me again. I never asked him to work with me. I asked him to come and defend his stance. Now, yes, I did just spend an entire week ripping him a new arsehole, but let's look at all the videos he does, because I don't think he can go a video without calling us normal people retards or morons. And he's called me dickhead to my face, and he's just as vile, and he can spit as much hatred as I can. And if you can't take it, then don't dish it out. But yeah, no. Come the day of the debate, he said, "No, I'm not going to turn up." But then he was in the chat watching. So I just turned it into kind of a hangout, and he was in the chat watching it.
Sure. We have a caller, George.
Hi. It's
Hello,
Giorgio,
George.
actually, but that's okay. I want to address something in regards to the moon landing that is a little bit off the usual points that are being made.
Okay.
All right.
My viewpoint was, in the beginning, I was like, yeah, of course the moon landing is real. And then with all the evidence and all the videos that I've seen, I thought, well, the moon landing was real, but maybe the footage wasn't good enough, and the U.S. invested so much money in this, so we spice it up with a little bit better footage. It was a big effort, so we want to win the public relations war with Russia, so we enhanced some images and other stuff. So I'm like, all right, so I was still of the opinion that we went to the moon. And then something funny happened. I bought a vintage 1983 Mercedes turbo diesel. And this is
Nice.
made almost 15 years after the moon landing. And suddenly it seemed really awkward to me. I was like, technology-wise, I'm like, it just didn't pass the smell test anymore for me. And I looked back into it, and the way the modular was designed and created and looked like, it felt to me like back in the days, that's what they envisioned the future would look like. When in reality, the opposite happened. Things have less screws, and the surfaces got smoother over time. So again, I'm on the edge again. I'm not convinced anymore. Either or.
Do you mean the way that the lunar lander looked like it was covered in tin foil and stuff? Is that what you're referring to?
No, the way it was built, with tons of screws, tons of open spaces, tons of unprotected areas. If you look at the Tesla from the day with all the smooth surfaces, little knobs, the future actually showed us that modern tools, even take a phone, we have less buttons than we had 10 years ago. So my idea was that this was designed back in the days to seem futuristic even 20 years later. And the exact opposite happened. It just looks ridiculous when you look at it today.
Well, I mean, it looked the way it did for a reason. it was designed to the thing about the Apollo programs and stuff is it was very basic engineering, very rigid, strong, basic engineering. There wasn't a lot of the fancy technology that you have nowadays, because now we can land rockets backwards after using them. But the way it looked, it was just
amazing technology. What it's supposed to have achieved is amazing stuff. But visually, and again, I'm not 100% convinced. I just emotionally, I can't believe that this thing landed on the moon.
Just because of the way it looks.
Well, yeah, you belittle it, but it means something. I mean, have you driven a car made in 1969?
No. 1972 is the earliest I've driven a car from.
Rent a car from a vintage and think this is the same year the US went to the moon. And 15 years later, Germany makes a state-of-the-art Mercedes. And my car is old. Man, an 83 car is old. And there's one more thing I want to address after this.
Is it the 300 SD?
The 300 turbo diesel. That's what I have.
Oh, it's a WD, so it's a wagon. Okay. Yeah, I had an SD myself, so I know the car you're talking about. But that's a car.
You sit
it's
in
not
it,
a
it's
thing.
really old and
Yes. But
that's
Mercedes,
the point of,
this is my one thing.
Mercedes didn't design the lunar lander.
Yeah, Germans are really good engineers, but the lunar lander was designed by NASA.
And the whole moon landing is still, there's a lot of German engineering from World War II in it. I mean,
oh yeah, obviously, NASA. Well, the Americans used a captured German V2 rocket to take the kind of first picture of the curvature and stuff. No one's going to deny that Germany certainly helped the technological advancement of the USA after the war, but that's just what technology looked like at the time, and it operated. They had all the Apollo missions leading up to that to test the lunar landers and the equipment, and then they had going into orbit, and then they sent one to go around the moon. They had stages of testing, and each stage would give them better data that they could improve the technology. But just saying it looks now a bit iffy based on our standards, I think isn't really a valid argument, because it looks as it should based on the engineering.
Yeah. What about the argument that it's really hard to land something with only one booster rocket in terms of it not falling over sideways?
The lunar lander had legs.
Yeah, but when you come down to the surface, in order to again, I work,
Yeah. But it didn't just have
space
one rocket.
What a hard time they have to stay stable, and this thing was able to stay stable with only one booster.
Do you know the lunar lander actually had several attitude thrusters that had their own fuel supply?
And
it wasn't
those
just one rocket
to keep it stable. You know that?
Well, yeah, that's the point of attitude thrusters.
Okay.
So yeah, there actually was controls on them to help land stably.
Okay. So one more thing, I also watched a documentary about I can't come up with his name right now. It was released on Netflix about one of the mass murderers. If you guys remember who it was, who is it?
Ted Bundy. It was Bundy.
So watch this, and it's fascinating. This is all after it's all after the moon landing. What a hard time communication-wise agencies had to interact with each other. And when the trial actually happened, what a big mess it was. And that's 10 years after the moon landing. How hard it was to get that trial on TV, because it was supposed to be the first live trial on TV. And it was a huge mess. And supposedly we did it effortlessly with the moon landing, and we even made phone calls. You know.
Well, yeah,
It
but
was
like,
hard to get on the air. What do you mean?
I mean, the technology to broadcast was there. They'd been doing that for a fair few years, and with regards to the phone call, it wasn't like a guy just picked up the phone and dialed the moon. It was actually from the White House. It went through the phone to I think to Houston, and then they had to actually route it through a place in Australia to then send it to the radio signal receiving equipment that was on the lunar lander. So it literally wasn't just a phone call. This was something that was all set up in advance, and that had to go through several stages. There wasn't literally someone just at the transfer line putting wires in.
Yeah, no, I agree with all this. It just seems amazing that all this worked and nothing went wrong. All the pictures turned out right. There was no hiccup whatsoever. It's
I think there was quite a lot of
too good.
hiccups.
They made it almost too perfect.
No, I think there was actually quite a lot of hiccups in the Apollo missions. I mean, I don't have the particular details offhand, but like, nothing really ever went perfect. I know that.
Apollo 13 comes to mind right now.
Yeah, obviously, I didn't really want to bring that up, but even the ones that got to the moon and back successfully had issues that had to be kind of corrected on the fly.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm open to both sides. I have defended all possible sides in the past with my friends, but I'm really lost again.
Though the best advice I could give is the best advice I would give if you're unsure about it is to actually look into the maths and physics behind what the lunar lander needed to get down there and then to boost back off. Because a lot of flat earthers say, oh, well, there's you look at the lunar lander when it's taken back off, it looks ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually look at the maths and the physics and what is required, it all makes a lot more sense. I think maths, personally, I think helps you understand everything.
Yeah.
Thanks for your honest
questions. You're doing a great job. I enjoy your show.
Thank you. Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
See you later.
All right. So if you guys have any, you guys want to challenge us, here's your chance. You can call us at 1-313-666-7371 or 1313-NONSEQ1, NONSEQ1. And I guess while we wait on someone to call, GE, do you mind if we take a look at somebody that had a video directed towards you?
You've been annoying
sure.
people.
Who?
Let's take a look.
Send a message to where? Okay.
What's happening, people? So it seems like I can't do anything, make a video without one of these dead-eyed pseudo-atheists making a response video, whether I was addressing them or not. I call them pseudo-atheists because these folks are all part of the religion of scientism, wherein these government and
pause right there. I know that I follow the religion of scientism. Don't you guys?
Yeah, it has the best parties.
It's the best religion.
GE?
Yeah, actually, I've got a degree in scientism, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to. Dave, let's take a. We'll come back to this video because we have somebody that wants to talk about Nathan Oakley.
Ooh. We call him Slappy the Clown around here.
Carlos.
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Yeah, I listen to the show at least Fridays and Saturdays or whenever there's a flat earther on, and you guys have to get Nathan Oakley and Red's Rhetoric on here. I know there's not much you guys can do, but man, I look forward to that.
We have all tried. I think I can speak on behalf of Kyle and say that it is everybody has tried to get Nathan Oakley on here, but he will not leave his own channel. because he's got the mute button
I know.
and he gets the super chats.
Well, I told Red Pill Philosophy that I wanted to debate him, and as soon as he said that, oh yeah, but you have to come to Nathan's show. It's like, no, come on, and that's kind of it's become the the answer. And to anybody who wants to debate somebody else, they'll say that because they know that we won't go over there, and they'll use that as an excuse and say, oh yeah, you just don't want to debate me. Who the heck wants to debate anybody on that platform?
Here's the thing, though. Like, I don't like. If you go there and you are somebody on the Globe side, you will most definitely be muted. You will you'll be talked over, that sort of thing. I don't care what anybody says about whether they are a flat earther or a globe earther here, until you give me a reason not to, or GE, or when Fight the Flat Earth moderates, we at least give each side their chance to say whatever they want to, and the only time that they're muted is if it gets to a just gross level of not being able to control themselves. I'm very big into
the format of the debate too.
Yeah, but and you know that's a reasonable thing to ask. But Nathan Oakley is what we call around here #bitchmade, and he every time he goes somewhere to sort of gets outside of his comfort zone, he gets owned, because without that mute button, he is nothing, zero. He has no intelligence or argument.
Nathan, what's diffraction? Nathan, diffraction?
I'll
never get old.
Oh
no, I know.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of Nathan Oakley.
I think
space comma.
I think an idea that I have is to create a platform where the moderators are one flat earther and one globe head, for lack of a better word, and that may be neutral enough. There's at least equal parts of both sides. Because even the ones that are close to neutral, nobody wants to step in there. So
yeah, Kyle, do you remember what happened when we had Nathan Thompson on as a moderator?
Yeah, that never works out well.
Well,
or are you going to say G?
Somebody like that.
Or are you going to say
Well,
G?
I mean, I was just going to say, I think that it would be a little tough to have like a flat earther as a moderator, because none of them seem to be like mature enough to actually moderate something. Like I've seen Nathan Thompson moderate something between JM Truth and some other person, and like Nathan couldn't stay out of it, and he was like just yelling obscenities to the other person, telling them to shut up and listen, like, you know, acting like JM Truth is some kind of like experienced teacher. So I just think that it would be really hard to find a flat earther that was mature enough to actually moderate.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, I get.
And like,
right. I don't know. I just thought that maybe if you had equal parts on both sides.
Anytime Nathan Oakley wants to
consider neutral,
remove himself from that bitchmade list, he has a welcome spot here. I'll even agree not to mute him as long as he can act like an adult and just argue based on what he knows. I know he's a raging dipshit. He's what I call the equivalent of a human kazoo. He makes a loud noise. And everyone else that hears it, it annoys the hell out of them.
Do you know how I knew that Nathan Oakley was stupid? Is in that Vice interview he did when he said, "When I figured out the Earth was flat, I literally went and woke my wife up and told her." I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would end up with 2 black eyes if I did that.
Yeah, you'd never get laid again.
Who was that? The Nathan Thompson?
Yeah, Nathan Oakley. In the Vice interview, but when he was saying about why he became a flat earther, and he's saying when he figured it out, he literally had a eureka moment and went and woke his wife up and told her the Earth was flat. I bet she was really happy.
Ugh.
Oh man.
Whatever, Nathan.
Well, fellas, I won't take much more of y'all's time. Thank you for picking up the call. And
nice to meet you, dude.
I'll stay tuned. Look forward for another.
Yeah, it was good. It was good talking to you.
What were you gonna say, G?
I was actually gonna say it's more like a slide whistle, because his voice gets higher pitched the more shit you shove in him.
Yeah. Just
well, I was going to say about Nathan Oakley is that, you know, I don't know if anybody here has actually seen his show, but he literally will mute someone and just scream at them. Like when they're trying to explain something, if he doesn't like it, he will just mute them and then scream at them. And it's like, you know, I don't have these kind of conversations with 5-year-old children, so I'm just not going to do it.
Can you imagine the wife in this situation getting woken up out of a nice sleep to be told that that your husband has just had a eureka moment, and that eureka moment is not what we can do about climate change, not what we can do to better coexist as a humanity, but that the Earth is fucking flat.
I think the response from the wife would
be, "I want a divorce."
Yeah. I was about to say that would be the appropriate response. The Earth's flat. I want a divorce.
Right. Okay, so we'll go back to the call out video of D Marble. Now I've already said this, that I think it would be great because we're getting ready to come out on Saturday night number 50, and I think that is a WrestleMania level main event right there.
Getting D Marble on to debate. Has he ever done a debate?
No, he hasn't, but I know Nathan Thompson has his personal cell phone number.
I've also got Nathan Thompson's personal cell phone number because he keeps giving it to me for some reason.
Well, yeah, every time he emails, Nathan has his cell phone number attached to the email. So all you got to do is email Nathan Thompson, and he'll give you his cell phone number easy.
We might have to make this happen, but yeah, let's see what the Marble has to say.
Authority figures are their gods. They have their priests like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, Brian Cox, and the like, and of course, their Lord and Savior Gravity, which they call on to save them from whenever these bad flat earthers are making too much sense or something that they have to explain away that doesn't quite match up with their religious beliefs. Most of these people, in my opinion, they're just putting up a front. I think they already know that the Earth is not a globe because there's no detectable motion, there's no measurable curvature.
Okay.
And they've so-called done so many debunking.
Wait,
no detectable motion.
Does he not know about Bob Nadell? Like, I'm sure they've spoken before.
He knows Bob. He's part of the crowd that's like, no, that didn't prove rotation. It's like, motherfucker, we all saw it happen.
Yeah.
It's on
honestly, it makes me laugh so much when they say, "Oh, it didn't prove it proved rotation of the stars." How the fuck is a physical thing going to measure the rotation of the stars when it's not?
How? Here's my question. What is this flat Earth offensive that he has on his backdrop? What is the flat Earth offensive?
I actually referenced that in my very first video I did. It's that he's like, "Oh, we're fighting back against the globe lie. This is the flat Earth offensive." And
yeah,
he has
it's
on
like
his
hashtag that he uses for it, as if it's like a battle cry for him.
Yeah.
Is this the guy that lives in the van?
Yeah.
Down by the river.
What's the story with that? I heard something about that, but I never was told the full story. Is he literally down by the river, or is that just?
Well, I suppose he can park there sometimes.
Literally by the river, but I mean, he has a van that he lives in, and he is very proud of the fact that he doesn't live in an apartment. He just lives in a van, and I assuming that he works somewhere. I mean, I'm not exactly sure where, but he apparently works somewhere, and it's like a cost saving measure. Maybe I don't really know. I don't understand.
I don't begrudge him for if he wants to, if he chooses to want to live in his van. That's totally his move. But this flat Earth offensive makes me laugh. But let's hear what he says about you and Level.
Videos and look through so much evidence that they have to lie to themselves in order to save face, to maintain their channel, maintain their reputation, and of course continue doing it for money. For instance, we have this one guy calls himself Godless Engineer, which of course is a joke because of the reasons for religion that I just gave a minute ago. This guy's a total actor. You can see it in his eyes if you watch any of his videos. He doesn't believe a word he's saying.
Okay, Dave, let's
What you're
pause
going
right
to
there.
see here, he inserts his
Dave,
G, are you an actor?
Can you please zoom in on GE so that we can get a good look at his eyes? I want to get a really good look at his eyes.
God, that's terrifying.
Are you an actor, Godless Engineer?
I am totes not an actor. Line.
Oh, he's totally an actor. Okay, Sheil.
That's your line.
What is a what is a D marble?
He's an actor and Casey's his handler. Is that what it is?
Ah, it makes sense now.
Yes.
Makes sense
That's
now.
it, Casey. You're my handler now.
I'm your handler?
Yep, you're my handler. Because I'm an actor and I don't really believe the shit that I say.
So you.
I was duped. I was duped. This whole thing's a sham. I married you guys. I married you guys. All right, Dave.
I know.
That's real.
Religious beliefs where they don't belong. Where he gives a definition of level that it kind of conflicts with the official explanation. So let's check this out.
Level, but also level just means that it's perpendicular to the pull of gravity.
Okay, Sweaty Engineer would have you believe that the definition of level is perpendicular to the pull of gravity. Let's do a quick fact check versus the Webster's Dictionary definition of level. All right, number one,
right there.
a device for establishing a horizontal line or.
Listen here, Mr. D. Short, bunch of marbles. That's where you guys laugh in unison because we're owning him.
I mean, sorry,
there we go. There we go.
I'm sorry. Now Sandy Touchley send me the scripts ahead of time.
I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Here's what I think, Mr. D. Marble. Do you know what happens when people attack people and not the arguments that they're putting forth? Do you know what that means? That means you don't really have an argument. So I think this is going to be one big epic fail on your end. But GE, do you want to sort of explain your, give us an overview of what you meant versus what he's pointing out here? Clarify it a little bit, if you will.
Well, basically what D. Marble is falling into here is a dictionary fallacy, because he's going to dictionary Merriam-Webster and looking at the definition of level, and because that definition doesn't match up perfectly with what I said, he claims that I'm wrong in some sense, or I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, I think is technically what he says. But that's not true, because all of the definitions, they just pretty much define it as like parallel to the horizon and all this other stuff, which is a perfectly fine definition for level. But when we're talking about physics, you have to talk about it in a certain context. So in physics, there is, regardless of whether you want to call it gravity or not, but there is a vectored force that is pointing towards the center of the earth at all times. And that particular force is acting on every object. And so because that force is pulling towards the center of the earth, an item can be considered level when its position, its orientation is perpendicular to that vectored force. And so what it means by level is that it's just perpendicular to the force of gravity. And you can see this in just a basic level. This is also very basic, like physics information that you could get out of like a textbook or something like that. And so that's what level means in the physical context that we're talking about here. And it's just the way, like whenever you see like level water, it just means that it's oriented perpendicular to the pull of the force of gravity. And that's all that it means. And he's trying to make it out to be like I'm wrong about that. But I mean, I know that I'm not. I actually looked up a few articles today from some basic like science sites. Like these are like K through 12, like supplemental science things. And whenever it's talking about like inclined plane physics, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's very plain as day saying that it's perpendicular to the pull of gravity, and so yeah, I'm not.
That's why we can still use plumb bobs. Plumb bobs work because of perpendicularity to the pull of gravity.
Right. Yeah. But he's. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
Well, I was just gonna say he's trying to make me look wrong when I'm not really wrong, because he's speaking in a different context as far as level, the definition goes.
Mm-hmm. Does level mean flat?
No. No, level doesn't mean flat, but something should be flat in order to be level. It's kind of like a square, like a what is it? A rectangle can't be a square, or a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle can't be a square, or something like that. I can't remember how that goes, but so for something to be level, it should be flat.
Yeah, a rectangle is not necessarily a square.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
I say that because they seem to think that saying that water finds its level means that water is, a body of water is flat all the way straight across, and I think we all know that's absolutely not true. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Dave, let's go towards the middle of this and just see what we won't watch the whole video, but because I'm sure GE will have a in detail response coming out.
Yeah,
and like he understands all these complicated ideologies, and then on the other hand, he can pretend like he doesn't understand a simple phrase like water seeks its own level. So what's it gonna be? Are you like a super genius, or are you mentally deficient where you can't understand a simple topic?
Okay,
so
let's not talk about. Let's just pause right there for a second. Let's not talk about being.
Show you a waterfall.
Let's not talk about being mentally deficient when you believe that the Earth is fucking flat. that excludes you from making any sort of judgment on anyone's mental abilities. Okay, Dave.
Now, what we're seeing here is water seeking its own level in real time. Okay, as the water at the upper level flows over the waterfall, that's why they call it a waterfall, because the water's falling over. It pulls
amazing
up at the bottom.
Oh,
the water finds itself contained on the surface. It's level. That's exactly what that means. That's about as simple as.
What about all that water that's actually going away from the water? That's why isn't that finding its own level right now? Doesn't water always find its own level?
Yeah, I still don't understand. Does that phrase make sense to you guys, like, at all? Like, water finding its own level? Like, water comes to a level, but that's because of the force of gravity. So I don't know what it means that water seeks its own level.
He and Team Skeptic, you can come in if you want to. We just had we were gonna have a debate, and the guy was a Holocaust denier, so we had to kick him out. But Dave will send you the link if you wanna come in. You can join in.
Get Team in.
But it's like that. It's like that he's saying that they say this like water is some sort of it's on the hunt to always find a partner to be level with. You know what I mean? Like they make it seem like this is a attribute that water, as soon as it's flowing into some river or ocean, that it's going to be level, and level straight across, like all the way. And that's where they're incorrect.
I think what they mean is that water will try and find its lowest point. I think that's what they're trying to get at. So no matter what, water will always seek to be level at the lowest point possible.
Well, yeah, but don't you consider that backwards to what is actually happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like water is just reacting to the forces that's exerted on it. So, I mean, if you have different forces exerting on it, it would go in a different way. Just like the just like how you pointed out, the water that's not finding its own level up on the upper part of this waterfall, it's got different forces that are acting on it. So, I mean, it's a fluid, so it's just reacting to things, I don't understand.
Like
Water,
water,
let me say this before you say what you're going to say. Let me just say this. K-Bone fan, don't time him out because he just said that we were stupid, and he has his complete right to say that we are stupid. So mods, don't time him out because he's.
Oh, I believe he was timed out because he did all caps.
But that may be the case. But I think you should come in here if you think we're so stupid. I was getting ready to invite you personally in here. The number's on the screen. If you think we're stupid and you're not bitch made, why don't you dial that number and come in and tell us why we are stupid? I would absolutely love to learn that. I love learning new things. So if you think you can teach us something, dial that number, or we'll just throw that name up on the bitch list as well. Bitch made list as well. Okay.
This is the thing. So water always finding its level. Why does water form a sphere in zero gravity or when it's a raindrop? Why does water seek to be a sphere in those conditions? Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm really bad about interrupting people. You go ahead.
That's fine, dude. No, carry on.
Oh, I was gonna say, what about condensation?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that is a product of the different properties of water, its ability to stick to things, the cohesion of the water molecules in general. So he just really has a bass-backwards way of reasoning, like why water reacts to forces, because it just makes it sound like water is doing this when really water is being acted upon. Water doesn't do the acting; it is acted upon.
It just reacts to the forces on it, and that's all that water does. Just like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dave.
As it gets, and I mean, if you can't get that, I really don't know what to tell you. Now, personally, I feel like the visuals and all that is one of the reasons why these people don't like me, because I keep these things so simple. I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of word salad to confuse you into believing anything. I'm just going to show you and let you make your decision from there. And
the waterfall.
I believe these people are actors because they can see the
a waterfall. That's why people don't like you. That's why you're such a threat to the globe Earth, because you put up pictures of what. Look, I have a picture of a globe here, right in the middle of this stream. These visuals prove that Earth is round.
There's one behind me right now. It would actually be quite disappointing if you got him on for a debate and he was like the WrestleMania, and then he just went waterfalls.
We will have TLC on deck, that's for sure. Look, T-Marble, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lake that you're used to. I know that you're going to have it your way or nothing at all, but I just think you're moving too fast.
Beautiful words, Kyle. Like, eat your heart out, Shakespeare.
Let's go towards the end, Dave.
Oh, God.
Appear to be smaller. It's been discussed in many videos, countless videos. But also pay attention to where the water meets the land on either side. Realize that in your experience on a micro scale, regardless of where you've seen water pool up in whatever container, the surface is always generally flat. Bathtub, swimming pool, lake, all that. Glass of water, even. Come on. The surface is flat. But you'll still have people that will try to manipulate you and tell you that your senses can't be trusted. That your eyes can easily be fooled. that you can't trust your senses. You trust your sense of taste. You trust your sense of hearing. You trust your sense of touch. You
All right,
trust your
pause
sense
it.
of
Pause it.
smell.
Oh my god.
So we've got to trust our senses. So if I sprinkled his food with iocane powder, would his senses tell him that he's not about to die?
Listen,
No,
our
it
senses
wouldn't.
are wrecked every Saturday night. Like my senses are telling me that I can jump out of this 4th-story window. If I trusted my senses, I would be fucking dead right now. So no, you cannot always trust your senses. Your senses are off. You get people get delusional. People get, when you're dehydrated, you can see you can see things. You can hallucinate. Your senses will act up and wreak havoc on your just reality sometimes. You cannot always trust your senses. You just can't. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I had a 3D book as a present when I was a kid, and you put the glasses on. It's got a red and a blue filter on it. And the images were black and white, but it looked like there was a bee floating above the page. Well, obviously, there's not really a bee floating above the page. Our senses can easily be fooled. Easily.
Yeah.
Not even.
It's
not even difficult.
The paper towel roll, where you can hold it up to the side of your hand and look, and the parallax will make it to where it looks like you have a hole in your hand, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone think that that's real? Does anyone trust the senses of the sight that they're seeing, that's real? Or when someone does this thumb thing here, where it looks like they're pulling off their thumb, are you trusting your sight that I'm really pulling my thumb apart? No.
Kyle, you're a wizard.
Don't even patronize me with laughing at that joke now, like the Flat Earth. You missed your opportunity. I will not have it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. I bomb jokes all the time. Let's listen to one more. Let's listen to one more point D Marble has to make, and then we'll say goodbye to D Marble.
Dipshit.
Yeah.
Can you not trust your vision?
No.
Do you honestly believe that the water and the land are curving downward as we travel down this canal?
Yes.
Don't let people deceive you.
Okay, we won't.
Free your mind.
Free your mind.
Wake up. We are not on a spinning ball.
No, we're
that has
not.
water curving
we're on an
and
oblate
stuck to
steroid.
the exterior of it. That makes absolutely no sense. Do you need to see more?
No, we don't.
Make
We
him
don't see
stop.
anymore. No, D Marble, look. If you're so sure about your position, if you're so confident that you have the answers, and you're so positive that Godless Engineer doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and that you can mow right over him, why don't you come prove it? Why don't you prove to everyone, since you can call him out? I mean, he's right here, and I know for a fact that he'll show up. I don't think you will. I think that it's safe for you to stand behind or sit in your van and with your little waterfalls and your little boat that you can take everyone on a trip with, and prove your points that way. That's safer. If you ever feel like you really have one over on Godless Engineer, like you really can show him what for, come do it. I will be absolutely fair, and you can even bring. I tell you what, we'll do what was suggested earlier. I'll let you bring your own moderator too, and I will be moderating for the Globe side, and then you can bring whoever you'd like for the Flat Earth side, and then we can really see who knows what, and bring all the waterfall pictures that you want to. I'll have TLC on deck.
Every time you say waterfall now, I just hear that.
Yeah, well, now that's not to be. There has been a different waterfall on here and that was with Jilly Juice. I can't say much about Jilly Juice because she's yeah, but there's a completely different sure.
I mean, honestly, I think that D Marble is just way too bitch made in order to show up. So, I mean, I've come to terms with the fact that he will never, more than likely, like actually talk to me, and so I've come to terms with that.
So much for
he'll
a flat
just
earth
sit
offensive.
behind his, huh?
So much for a flat earth offensive. We won't even actually talk to anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, he's offensive, so maybe that's what he meant.
D Marble, I'll send you the new graphics for your new background. You can take out that flat Earth, whatever it is, the flat Earth offensive or whatever. And I have a great hashtag Why You So Bitch Made sticker, and we'll slap that up for you. I'll give that to you free of charge. Hello, Team Skeptic.
Hello, gentlemen. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, team, how you doing?
We're trying
Not
to
bad, buddy.
I'm doing good.
trying to salvage
saw this
a show that went horribly wrong.
Yeah, what happened to HipHopHippie? I tuned in like late because I was driving around and I was listening in, but I really wasn't chatting, and like I didn't see him. I saw him for a little bit, but then I came back to it and I was like, where the fuck did he go?
He outdid his first performance. I didn't think was possible. You literally.
Oh wow.
Within his first few
it was
sentences.
worse than me. It was worse
denied
than
the
with me.
Holocaust. Denied the Holocaust.
Oh
So I
God.
had to.
How do you?
Yeah, and he kept bringing it up too. Like he starts out like, and remember 9/11. It was an inside job.
It's like, does
You
he
know,
not
I've-
realize that there are people who are old enough that whose parents or grandparents who lived with them and told them stories that of what they had to go through, and they're just reciting those stories? I mean, give me a fucking break.
I mean, to me, like as much as I would have loved to have, an actual debate here, there are some things that you just, we push the boundaries on this show about what we will allow. I mean, we have time and time again had dumpster fire after dumpster fire with things that most people wouldn't entertain, and there's even I have a line, and I cannot in any way have somebody that could say that on here and sit and listen to them talk. I will not platform a Holocaust.
Yeah, I agree with you. You shouldn't give somebody like that a position to speak, because that's denying just the pain and suffering that not just a group of people went through, but humanity as a whole during that time suffered through that. And to deny something like that it's horrible. You're right. I wouldn't entertain it as well, and I commend you for just kicking his dipshit ass off.
It's on the level of the stupid flat Earth argument. Like we know that the Earth is round, just like there are people who survived the Holocaust still alive. They still have the fucking tattoos, the number tattoos on their arm. Like those still exist. That is not
more importantly. There's 6 million people that died, and it's literally just shitting on the memory of every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will not. Not here. No, not here.
Not to
we got a
mention
caller
all
though.
the service members that died too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
This should be fun.
The non sequitur villain.
What are you talking about? I love the NonSequitur Show.
I know you do. Hello, Artisan Tony.
I may have called. I wasn't able to call the other night when we were talking about the abortion, so this may be off topic too much. But I didn't know since you were.
It is, but we can still. I mean, there are no other callers, and we're minus some flat earthers. So, and GE did so well the other day that I think it's sort of on topic. So yeah.
Well, first of all, let me. I'm sorry. I was just going to thank you for booting the guy, Holocaust denier, because one of the interviews I have on my channel is Clinton Riddle. He's a World War II vet, and he was actually one of the guys who went into the camps at the end of the war, and saw things firsthand. And that's just disgusting. So,
yeah, I agree.
Anyway,
on that we can agree, Artist Tony. On that we can agree. So, what do you got for? What did you want to say about the abortion talk the other night?
So, my question is, first of all, my opinion doesn't come from a religious stance at all. I know you and I kind of got off on the wrong foot, and I'm not as religious as you think I am, but my question really is more geared towards like the whole political aspect of it. Like, I've always wondered this: at what point in time, was it 1,000 years ago, 10, 20,000 years ago, did we become more concerned about sort of the political aspect of this versus just progressing, the priority of progressing humans, the human count on the earth?
Oh, I think
at some point in time, it became a political issue, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it became a political issue back in the 70s and 80s when the evangelical right wing, and oddly enough, Roger Ailes is largely to thank for this, but this is before he was at Fox News, but it became a voting bloc. The evangelicals became a huge voting bloc, and they needed an issue to go after, and this was their thing. And since then, it's been a big push by the evangelical movement. But it was to unite a mega voting bloc of the religious, and they've been running with it ever since.
Well, that's interesting, because I was taking a different slant, because I was thinking more along the lines of the feminist movement, at what point it took hold. So that's interesting that you and I chose the two different sides of the fence to make a point about that.
Well, I mean, the rights of women have been a political issue since like the suffrage movement in the 1920s. So I don't know why we're drawing such a line in the 1970s, other than it's specifically like abortion rights at that point. But I mean, women's rights in general have been a political issue for the longest time, which honestly really perplexes me, I guess, because I mean, like, why we're it's a political issue to extend the same rights to other human beings? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand why it has to be a political issue that like women have rights to their own bodies and shit. Like, why is that?
So that's the crux of it, and that's the point of my question. At what point did women's rights overrule or become, supersede just progressing humankind? I mean, our birth rates have dropped dramatically, and that's not the only reason. But it's
because of abortion.
What?
I guess I feel like the point of bringing that up right now in this particular discussion is to suggest that abortion is the cause of decreased birth rates.
Well, it is among certain sectors, and I mean, look at the black population. 70% of most babies are aborted.
Yeah, no. One of the things about abortion, like for people, say a young family that already have 2 children, they get pregnant again. Now, if they don't abort that child, then the whole family is going to suffer. They never planned to have that child. So it's not, by aborting that child, they're not reducing birth rates. They're actually just keeping it as it was, rather than increasing the population when it doesn't need it.
We're overpopulated. We're way overpopulated.
I mean,
well, yeah, I agree with that, because I feel the same way that let's say humanity was in a different situation where the birth of a child was detrimental to continuing on the human race, then it would be a different situation to look at, different parameters. But right now, we're not in that situation. We're in a situation where if a mother chooses to not go through with a pregnancy, the human race will be fine. So to take that right away from her just for a fictitious, or fallacious belief is inappropriate.
Well,
There's a
yeah, I
reason
just
why
think
China
that
implemented the one
there's
child policy.
we forget about the other two parties when it comes to abortion. We forget about the father's rights to the child, and we also forget about the child itself. So I think there's a triangle there.
No,
We have to
fetuses are
come to
not
some
children.
agreement at some point in
Fetuses are
time.
not children. I'm sorry, I have got to stop you right there because fetuses are not children.
Well, they actually are. So that's
hold on, Artisan. Can you please tell me where, at what point, before what point, do most abortions occur?
This is the philosophical debate that we're having.
No. You brought up the whole child thing. You brought up the whole child thing. I just need you to tell me at what point in pregnancy do most abortions occur?
That's what he's wanting to get to. G. I think he's asking us like what our opinion of that would be. That's what his ultimate question hinges on. Like, where do you call a?
It's a statistic. It's not an opinion.
Well, I'm saying like he wants to get our view on.
Let me state what my opinion is, and that it goes back to the rights of the father. Once you have conception, the father has partial rights to that child, and the father's never considered. Why does the father not have rights to the child? Why is that? Why have we forgotten that?
Hold on. Because I actually, about 10 years ago, I had a girlfriend who got pregnant accidentally, and not accidentally, but unplanned. And she consulted with me before making that decision. So to say that the father has no rights, yes, maybe in a legal sense, it does come down to the mother because the mother is the one who's actually affected. But that's not the situation in every event. It's not always a situation where the father's rights or considerations are not taken into account, because mine were. I happen to agree with her that getting an abortion at the time was a good idea. But if she wasn't just going to do that without my agreement, going with that plan.
Hold on. Let me just say this. Now, we could probably go on forever on this topic because it's a heated topic, but it is quarter till, and we do have another show coming up at 9. So we're gonna have to cut this short and pick it back up on another day. I'll give you a chance to definitely give you a chance to say your piece real quick, GE. But I'm gonna read super chats right after this, and Artist and Tony, we'll have to pick this up on a different time. Okay, but thank you for calling in, and I'm gonna let GE say what he needs to on this, but we'll pick it up when we have time next time. Artist Tony. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Go ahead, G.
Well, I was just gonna say, I would totally be up for a debate on this topic against Artisan Tony, or just maybe have a discussion with him about it, because I mean, you know how I feel about the entire conversation in general. So, I would be very interested in that.
We can set that up, no problem. Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth. I love it when you guys are here. I'm sorry that tonight turned into a complete bust, but what can you do when you're given situations like what we were faced with? Yeah, I'm just glad that you guys were here, and sorry that you got pulled into that.
Always happy to be here, Carl, no matter what.
I'll tell you, after I heard the video from D Marble earlier, and I don't appreciate him fucking calling him sweaty and shit. So D Marble will forever be known by me. I will never refer to him as D Marble again. He is, from this point moving forward, he's D homeless. Okay, D homeless.
That's funny. Okay,
shit,
let me pull up.
You're a fucking idiot.
Let me ding
ding.
Where's your bell? Hey,
Let me pull up.
It's
That's
all
real
of my
quick.
bells are broken. They're all like
Stop
deformed
throwing them at
from
the
throwing them
walls.
against the wall.
Just pulling up super chats real quick. Super chats. I hate it now that every time you go to the creator studio, I have to go through the stupid beta. No one likes the beta, Google.
But you can actually set your default as the old creator studio, so you don't have
Don't
to
make me
do
look
that
like I
every
don't know
time.
what I'm doing. Don't make me look like I don't know what I'm doing live on air.
Kyle, I figured this out about 2 days ago, so don't worry.
How dare you, sir? Don't laugh at my joke. You're just striking out tonight.
It's all about the timing.
Okay, let's get through these real quick. Justine Follett, thank you for the super chat. Says we should all arm bears. Steven Steen, fight the flat earth sucks. Cajun Crustacean, Steven Steen sucks. Candor Man, wait, who killed all my? Oh man, wait, who killed all my grandfather's family? Then, oof. That's a rough super chat.
Sorry to
Okay,
hear that.
the evil Scotsman. I've got no strings to hold me down. Goes to the Enigma. Okay, I have the napalm ready for this huge dumpster fire of stupid. Cajun Crustacean. I look forward to the insanity Flurfs will spew when the Artemis programs begin. Christopher Kane, kick ass tonight. Fight the Flat Earth. Your friends and patrons love you. Great job serving up Sleeping Warrior on hashtag Bitch Made Platter this week. Oflamio, Non-Sequitur Show. Get Steven Steen on. Nope. Steven Steen is a human kazoo, and we just don't have time to play him. The Evil Scotsman, and it's gone. Sir says, thank you, Kyle. You're welcome. The Athens 619 says, let's just say it, flat earthers don't have a model, and they most certainly don't have the balls. They have flats. That is very true. Jeranism himself said that they don't have a model. Insidious Vids, thank you, Kyle. I lost a friend at 9/11, and platforming that guy is not cool. You're awesome. I agree. It's not cool to platform that type of person. The Evil Scotsman, game over, man, game over. Helios 575, good on you, Kyle. Holocaust deniers too far. Alex B says, thank you, Kyle. My family died, and some survived from the Holocaust. I'm grateful for you for standing up for the memory of your victims. You're quite welcome, and I'm sorry that happened to your family. My unfinished journey, different things are different. Therefore, we didn't go to the moon. Killian Holland, damn, that guy is such a window licker. Also, I just realized that Kansas City is not in Kansas. Is this the government conspiracy? Mandela effect? Demonic Davros, the Murray-Darling River system in Australia moves both east and south. Gravity causes water to move to the path of least resistance. The Evil Scotsman, don't go chasing waterfalls. Just stick to the globes that you're used to. Amen. My unfinished journey, Kyle's a wizard gnome, and Corrupt Syntax says, I have a passive 3D TV. It uses parallax to make the movie video game appear to have depth. Your senses are not 100% flawless. They can be fooled. What about phantom limb syndrome? Let me just make sure I don't have any more. And then, Artisan Tony, great show, and let us solve the abortion one night soon. I think that that's a take up on your offer, GE. So we'll make that happen.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good.
Mama Murder says, hey guys, and if you don't remember, Mama Murder was made famous on here when I went around and got everybody's position. Everybody gave these long, lengthy positions for why they believe what they believe. But Mama Murder went straight to the point, and she said, my stance is stay the hell out of my vagina. And then,
that is a good stance.
Kavasar says, have a D Marble versus Greater Sapien debate. I you know what, we should get Greater Sapien back on here too, but I want GE and D Marble. D Marble called out GE, and I want to see GE just wipe the floor with or D Homeless of
Yes.
the Flat Earth bitch made homeless. Okay, guys,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would love to go against D Marble if he could come out of his van for long enough.
Let's make it happen. Fight the Flat Earth and Team Skeptic, go ahead and take a second and plug your channels and let people know where they can go find you if they don't know already. Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Greg. You can go first, Greg.
I'm Craig, and I've got my cousin Colonel Greg. We have the channel Fight the Flat Earth. I've just done a whole week of Sleeping Warrior stuff. Video I released just before this was top 10 dumbest things Sleeping Warriors ever said. So go and check that out. Over to you, team.
Yeah, got a video coming out tomorrow. If I can ever finish recording it, I was trying to record it while I was like, fuck it, I'm taking a break and going on here. So if I can finish recording it and get everything, which I will, it's going to be out tomorrow, but we're going to open it up with a live stream. Me and GE and Fight the Flat Earth is invited. Kyle, we're doing a who's the presenter? GE, you know who he is. I don't know his name. What was the presenter's name? Of that atheist video I sent you. Not enough faith to be an atheist.
Oh, Frank Turek.
Like Frank Turek, yeah. So Kyle, if you want to swing by tomorrow and talk shit about somebody, 2 p.m. Central, so 3 p.m. your time.
I hate Frank Turek.
I'll send you an invite. If you're free, you're more than welcome to join. But that's me, guys. I'll see you guys later. Team Skeptic, check me out.
Cool. And GE and I will be back with you guys here in 15 minutes. And we will be having Schrodinger's cat and Mock Earth finally after, what is this now, 3 weeks in the making?
Yeah.
And after this last show, guys, no pressure, but it better be fucking glorious. We'll be back after this.